Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom.
My name Brother Nehemiah. This is gonna be my reader for today, Brother Brian Yahoo.
Hey.
And basically we're gonna bring a lesson today that's gonna be pertaining to knowing the worth and the roles that we're supposed to play. I had a few conversations with some women while I was evangelizing, and they basically were saying that they don't feel the Bible because it talks about a woman submitting, things of this nature, you know. So I started asking them what are their beliefs, you know, and they were into something that's called Egyptology. So, and in that belief system, it says that the woman is God. So that's what they was on. So, and they went that route because they said that they would be done better. They liked the way that the men uplifted them and held them at such high esteem and things of that nature. So one of the sisters was talking about how hard the men are, you know, how they just try to rule over them with an iron rod. Feel like slavery. If it feel like slavery, and it's just a lot of stress that they went through while dealing with a man in the walk of the faith. So we're going to go over some scriptures today to just get an understanding of what the Bible is saying, you know, because people that take scriptures out of context and be like, the women got to be silent and this and that and all of that. But when I read the book, you know, I see some otherwise. So we're going to go over some of these scriptures because it is important for everybody to know their role in a relationship. You know, that's husband, wife, children, friends, all of that, right? We supposed to know our role. That way we can have some peace and some shalom. So if you have a movie, right, imagine if you watching Beauty and the Beast. What if the Beast want to play the beauty role and then the chick want to play the Beast role? Everything out of order, right? It ain't going to go right. If you playing on a sports team, man, a center not supposed to be bringing down the ball down court. That's supposed to be the point guard role, right? So when you don't know your roles, it's going to, of course, be confusion and chaos, right? When you go into war, you need to know your role. All of these, it's important to know your role, everything. You can't go to work and tell your boss what to do. You know, your boss tell you what to do, right? So we're going to start this off in Ephesians chapter 5. So the goal of this message is just to try to bring peace within the households, because a lot of households, even in this walk, are in chaos because, you know, neither party is able to see eye to eye. Ephesians 5, and we're going to pick it up at verse 22. Ephesians 5 and verse 22. When you get there, go ahead.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
So it's saying, wives, submit yourselves unto your husband as unto the Lord, right? So it's a lot of problem with this, you know, because people hear this and be like, man, when I'm supposed to be a slave, I just got to do everything. He my master now, things of that nature, right? So I watch a lot of videos because I like to see what people's ideology is on relationships these days, you know, and it's a lot of women who will be saying, I'm not going to submit, I'm not going to submit. And then if I'm going to submit, he going to have to do this and that. You know, it's a lot of stipulations and it's circumstantial, you know. So it's telling you here, why submit yourselves unto your husbands as unto the Lord. Go ahead and read.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church.
Keep reading.
And he is the savior of the body.
Right, he's the savior of the body. So the man has the role basically in the way of Hamashiach, right? He's supposed to bear it all when they get tough, you know, keep things moving, right? So a woman's supposed to submit herself as unto the Lord, right? So the man is supposed to also be able to sacrifice a lot, right? You know, in playing his role. So go back up to verse 21 because this is something that a lot of people skip over. Go ahead.
Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Elohim.
Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Elohim, right? So it's going to be some submission done depending on the circumstance, you know, one unto another, you know, any relationship, being your friend, your husband, wife, all of that, right? But the men have a role to play themselves as Hamashiach, right? Let's go to Proverbs 31, because everybody go to Proverbs 31 to basically try to, you know, judge a woman whether she's virtuous or not. So a lot of people gonna go here, and this is what you're gonna try to line yourself up with to see if this gonna be a keeper or if this is a fish that you throw back in the water, right? Because some fish need to go eat, fatten up a little bit, right? Proverbs 31 and 10. Go ahead.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
Right, so it's asking who can find a virtuous woman, right? Her price is far above rubies. So this meaning that this is going to be rare, right? It's not something that's just going to be, you know, 9 out of 10. You know, it's going to be rare. That's why it's valuable. So if you can find this, it's saying that her price is far above rubies, right? And this message is even for people who ain't married, who looking to get married and stuff, so that they can have their mind right and sit right. Because you got to know your role. Because if you ain't playing your role, then the problem gonna be some problems can be caused. It could be because of you, or it could be because of your mate, right? If they not playing their role, so you both need both to see eye to eye. Because two can't walk together unless they be agreed, right? Let's go to Psalms 26 and 1. And then the way the world works today, it's an agenda to take women out of their natural role that the Most High put them in, right? So you got women empowerment movement and all of this, and I'm independent, you know, all of this type of stuff. So it get into the women head if they don't have proper guidance, right? And then this is what's gonna lead them, you know. City girls, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, things of that nature, right? That's what's leading the future of our women, right? So Psalms 26 and 1, go ahead.
Judge me, Yahuwah, for I have walked in my integrity. I have trusted also in Yahuwah, therefore I shall not slide.
Right, so this is David saying, judge me, right? So he asking the Most High to judge him. Are we in a position where we'll just be like, Most High, judge me now? Or do we know we got a long way that we still got to go, right? Because you never should feel like you perfect, you know, like you ain't got no improvement. Everybody should be examining themselves daily to be like, well, I could do this better to become a better brother, sister, a better husband, a better wife. taking notes like my husband or wife don't like this. Maybe I need to work on this. Maybe I need to work on my approach on how I speak to them, things of that nature, right? Holding my tongue at certain times, things like that, right? Let's go to Genesis 1. Genesis 1 and 26 through 27 is what we're going to read. Go ahead, brother.
And Elohim said, let us make men in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
So it say, Elohim said, let us make man in our image. So we being made in his image and likeness, right? Remember when I started speaking, I was talking about how the female said that she think that woman is God, right, due to her ideology and beliefs, right? So it's saying right here, Elohim made man after his image. Read 27.
So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them.
So both the man and the woman is made after the image of Yah, right?
Right.
So we seeing that he making them in the image because he's trying to make them the same as him, right? Let's go over to chapter 2 and verse 18. And then go ahead.
And Elohim said, it is not good that man should be alone.
So he didn't want him to be alone, right? He created all this stuff. He was by himself. He needed more, right? Keep going.
I will make him an helpmeet for him.
He said, I will make him a helpmeet for him, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the definition of what a helpmeet is. So it's the Hebrew word ezer, right? And it means to help, one who helps. So this is an aid, right? So it's an aid or a help, right? That's the job that he's saying he put Eve there for Adam, right? So the woman was saying, yeah, women are God, right? So in this walk, I have seen some brothers that diminish the role of a woman, right? And it do be almost slave-like, right? So I'm here to just try to help to show the value of the woman, right? As well as go over some scriptures just to show some things that the woman should do and shouldn't be doing, right? So that she will be held to the esteem of what y'all want to hold her at, right? Himself, because what he hold at matters more than what any man think, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Right? So now we're going to go to Psalms 115 and verse 9. Because the men are supposed to be examples to their children as well as the mother, right? So a daughter's supposed to see like how her father treat her mother, right? So that she can have an idea to be like, nah, man, my daddy don't treat my mama nothing like this. You ain't the one, right? And then also a son, this is how my mother acts. So this, because usually a dude gonna go for somebody that kind of remind him of his mama, So now my mama done set this high bar, so this is what I'm looking for in a woman, right? Psalms 115 and verse 9. Go ahead.
O Israel, trust thou in Yahuwah. He is their help and their shield.
Say that again.
O Israel, trust thou in Yahuwah.
So trust in Yahuwah. Why?
He is their help.
He is their help, right? He's the help. See, a lot of women got a problem with being told you the help. You the help, but we seeing here Yah is the help of Israel, right? Finish that off.
He is a help and their shield.
The help and the shield, protection, right?
Yep.
Go over to 124 and verse 8. Because it ain't nothing wrong with being the help. It's actually a good role, and we're gonna see that you playing out. You got a lot of characteristics and abilities as the Most High Yah has, right? 124 and 8. So you shouldn't drop the ball on your duties, right? 124 and 8. Go ahead.
Our help is in the name of Yahuwah, who made heaven and earth.
Read that again.
Our help
is where?
In the name of Yahuwah, who made heaven and earth.
Right. 146 and 5. So he keeps saying that we keep seeing that he is the help. He is the help. And he didn't mind being it. He just wanted Israel to realize, I am the help, right?
Right.
Psalms 146. Let me get there. (146:5). Go ahead.
Happy is he that have Elohim of Jacob for his help.
For his what?
Help.
Right?
Whose hope is in Yahuwah, his Elohim.
Right. So I'm going to look up that word help there, and it means the same thing. Hebrews 58:28 is there, right? Which means to help. The same thing, to be an aid, right? So it's the same thing. What we see in Most High is being to the nation of Israel. So it ain't no problem with being the help, right? Proverbs 18:22. Proverbs 18:22. Because you'd rather be a help than a hindrance. Right. You rather help than hinder, the process of growth, and prosperity. Proverbs 18:22. Go ahead.
Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of Yahuwah.
Right, so whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. Why? Because we seeing that the wife is the help. So the wife is basically, the Most High is giving you a piece of him through your wife. Because he's the help of Israel, and your wife is supposed to be the help for you. So a piece of him is supposed to be instilled in her so that she can help you throughout your maneuvering through this lifetime, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's definitely a good thing, and you are finding favor if you find a good wife, because you're going to get a piece of Yah that's going to help you through it, that encouragement, that strength in a time of need, right? Genesis 24. Because it is circumstantial now, and it's stipulations in a lot of women's mind. They'll be like, but I can't do it because he this, he that, right? So we're going to look at something real quick. Because all you got to do is worry about your role. You know what I'm saying? If the man ain't right, y'all going to deal with it, right?
Right.
You pray for him, and y'all deal with it. Genesis 24, we're going to read verses 1 through 23. Go ahead. Because we're going to look at this as an example.
And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and Yahuwah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by Yahuwah, the Elohim of heaven and the Elohim of earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Mm-hmm. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me into this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest?
So he got him on a mission to go out and get a wife for his son. Keep going.
And Abraham said unto him, beware thou that thou bring not my son thither again. Yahuwah Elohim of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that sware unto me, saying, and to thy seed will I give this land, he shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence.
Okay, keep going.
And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and sware to him concerning that matter. Keep going. Mm-hmm. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and departed. For all the goods of his master was in his hand, and he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. Mm-hmm. And he made his camels to kneel down with the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Yahuwah, my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water.
So he's standing by the well, right? Keep going.
And let it come to pass that the damsel to whom I shall say, let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink. And she shall say, drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. Let the same be she that has appointed for thy servant Isaac, and thereby shall I know that thou hast showed kindness unto my master.
Right, so he going to a land, right, and he going to get this wife, so he need a sign, like, so which one is meant for me to bring back, right? So he's like, when a woman that comes to me and say, here, I got water for you and your camels, let that be a sign that this the one, right? Because that's like a needle in the haystack, right? Yeah, Brian, go over there to Iraq and then bring back something, right? And you're like, man, it is millions of women. What? I need something to slim this down, right? So this is narrowing it down so that he can have a sign to know, hey, this is the one that you need to take back to be the husband, right? Keep reading.
15. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking that, behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, son of Milcah, and the wife of Nahor, Abram's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulders. And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
So she was pretty.
A virgin. Neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. And the servant ran to meet her and said, let me, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher.
All right, so when he said that, a lot of women these days would have been like, it's like, man, you can go get your own. Same way I went down there and got my water, you can go up there and get yours, with that little hand talk. Yeah. You could get your own, I don't know you, right? But let's see the characteristics of this woman. Keep going.
18, and she said, drink, my lord. And she hasted and let down her pitcher upon her hand and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also.
So bingo, everything coming to fruition. Right now she's saying, I'm going to draw water for your camels. And if y'all don't know, camels be drinking a whole lot, right? So she coming with a little pitcher that only holds so much water. It's 10 camels. So she finna do a lot of back and forth, right? Keep reading.
Until they have done drinking.
Until they have done drinking, I'm going to do this, right? Keep going.
And she hasted and emptied her pitcher into the throat and ran again unto the well to draw water and drew for all his camels. And the man wondering at her held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of the half of a shekel weight, and 2 bracelets for her hands of 10 shekels weight of gold.
And what did he say?
And said, whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee. Is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in?
Right. So the Most High said, he asked for the Most High to show him, man, let the woman do this, let the woman do that. And that's what she did, right? But you see her characteristic that she went and did it. And this is a total stranger, right? But now not only let me help you, but let me help you with your camels too, She was considerate, right? Titus chapter 2. And we're going to read verses 2 through 8. Titus 2 and 2 through 8. All right, go ahead.
That the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and patience.
And it's important for men, right? Keep going.
The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things.
Right.
That they may
That
they may teach young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Elohim be not blasphemed.
Right. And this gonna be something some women gonna struggle on, right? They're gonna see the word obedient and be like, man, he ain't my master in this. But if you got a husband that love you, he's supposed to be giving you scripts and guiding you to where it's gonna better y'all position and y'all family as a whole, right? So if he like say, baby, do this, and you ain't doing it, then it's gonna be chaos, right? Because he might be able to see something that you might not see, and sometimes it's the vice versa, where the woman might see something that the husband don't, right? But it's a way to approach him and be like, say, baby, I think if we did it this way, it'll be more sufficient, and this and that. It's a way to do it, not with attitude and all of that, right? So it's telling them, that they supposed to have these characteristics, and not only that they have it, but teach it to their children, right? So on both the man and the woman side, how is you gonna teach your children if you don't have it instilled in you? You see what I'm saying? So what's gonna come up that next generation is the children gonna follow that same program, and it's gonna be worse. You know, I saw my mama act like this, so I'm gonna act like this with any man that I'm with, you know. And I saw my daddy act like this, so I'm gonna act like this with, you know, any woman that I'm with, right? So it's supposed to be an example. We at 6, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 6. Young men, likewise,
Mm-hmm.
exhort to be sober-minded.
Mm-hmm.
In all things, showing ourselves a pattern of good works.
Showing a pattern of good works, right? So it's working on both sides. Keep going.
In doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary put part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you.
Right. So that's the whole goal, you know, because people are going to be in relationships to where, you know, it might be one person really trying to walk this book and the other one might not be, right? And so that's where it becomes circumstantial to where the other person always saying, well, she ain't doing this or well, he ain't doing that. But it shouldn't be like that. You should worry about how the Most High Yah looking at you. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't be at fault when it's your time to be judged, right? And that's how you going to win, if it's possible, you win over the other person, right? You making sure that you blameless. You keeping the commandments by doing that, because you being holy for our Most High Creator is holy, right? So we seeing that some of the characteristics that women is supposed to have, you know, love their husbands, love their children, be discreet, chaste, keepers, at home, good, obedient to their own husband, which these are good commands that you don't really find in every ideology, right? Some ideologies might not tell them to do that, so they don't have no guidelines to be held to, you know? So with the conversation that I was having with them, that's what it was seeming like, is that I got leeway over here. I don't have all these rules and regulations and all of that. That's stuff for the old days. Not understanding that this was what's going to keep peace in your household and make things good now, right? Let's go to Psalms 146 and 5. Because this game will never get old. You know, this is the game that he give you is everlasting. It's going to always help you through situations. Psalms 146 and 5. So y'all have a high value, you know, in the Most High eyes. And when the man get true understanding, he's supposed to see that too. But we all got to play our role, you know. 146 and 5. Go ahead.
Happy is he that have.
We already hit that. Let's go to, I'm sorry, y'all. Proverbs 31 and 11. All right, go ahead when you get there, brother.
The heart of her husband does safely trust in her.
So the heart of her husband does safely trust in her, right? Keep going.
So that he shall have no need of spoil.
Right, and this is important, right? Because you want the man or the husband that you with to be able to trust in you and your decisions that you make, that so he can have some peace. He shouldn't have to worry about the decisions that you making, if they're going to be good or bad, they're going to hinder the family. He should always have confidence that I know whatever she do is going to help, and it's going to add to and not take away, right? Because if we could trust, we should be able to trust in the woman the same way we trust in Yah, right? To where we know if we do our role, Yah gonna bless us, right? And good things gonna come from it. So it should be the same way when we dealing with our ribs. So I want the women to see like the role that they play is close to God. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they are the God, but they play a role that's real close to what God did. You know, even when he dealt with Israel and all of that, right? 1 Samuel, because the Most High showed us the characteristics that should be put in both man and woman by the way he treated Israel, right? First Samuel 19, and we're going to read verses 4 through 12. 1 Samuel 19, verses 4 through 12. Go ahead.
And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, Let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he have not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee-ward very good.
Right, so Jonathan is speaking good of David unto Saul, because Saul wanted to kill David, right? So he's telling him, man, this been a good dude unto you, right? Keep going.
For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine. And Yahuwah wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against the innocent blood to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul sware, As Yahuwah liveth, he shall not be slain.
So he telling his son, man, I ain't going to kill him, right? Keep going.
And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all those things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence as in times past. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines, and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. Mm-hmm. And the evil spirit from Yahuwah was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with the javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand.
So this dude got a weapon in his hand while David, and they say David was playing in his hand. Keep going.
And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin.
So he just told his son he wasn't going to kill him, but now he looking to kill him, right? Keep going.
But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night.
Keep going.
Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, If thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain.
So his wife coming to him, right? And she like, say, man, you might need to get out of here, right? Keep going.
So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped.
So he was in a position to trust everything she said, right? Because he could have been high-minded and been like, man, I'm David. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But his wife came to him and protected him and was like, hey, there's something going on. You need to get out of here because your life on the line, right? Keep reading.
13. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth.
Right.
And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, he is sick.
Right. So we're going to stop there. But we see that she got him out the house, was able to help him save himself, then put up a little dummy, right, to try to fool him, right? But we seeing that he trusted in what she was saying, right, and the role that she did. So all these we're going to be reading this to see the powerful roles that the women played within Israel, right? Because y'all are valuable to us, right? Let's go to John 20. John 20, we're going to read verses 11 through 16. And whenever you get there, you can go ahead and start.
But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping. As she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre, and seeth two angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yeshua was laid. And they say unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? And she saith unto them, Because they have taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him. Mm-hmm. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Yeshua standing, and knew not that it was Yeshua.
Right, so she didn't know that this was Yeshua. And at this time, you got to keep in mind that the disciples had ran and fled, right? They made haste and they ran and fled. They were scared, but she here in the time where it's still kind of hot, right? But right. The Most High sent her to do this, right? Keep going.
Yeshua said unto her, Woman, why weepest thou? Whom seekest thou? She, supposing him to be a gardener, saith unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away. And Yeshua said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master.
Right. So she went and he put her in a position to be the one who go there to go see these things. Now she carried word back to the people, right? But it wasn't no man that did this. He chose Mary to do this, right? So that's another important role that was played. So she was there in the time of the trenches, right? When everybody else had fled. Let's go to Judges chapter 4. We're going to read verses 1 through 10 and 12 through 24. This is another important story to see the role that a woman played, right? Go ahead.
And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of Yahuwah. When Ehud was dead, and Yahuwah sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto Yahuwah, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel.
Right, so they going through it, right? Keep going.
And Deborah, a prophetess,
a
wife of Lapidoth, the judge, that she judged Israel at that time.
So she in a position where she judging Israel, right? That's an important role, right? So though women might get downplayed by some brothers, this was a very important role, right? Keep going.
And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the mount of Ephraim. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Abinoam, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Have not Yahuwah of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of children of Naphtali, and of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee to the river of Kishon's Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. And Barak said unto her, If thou wilt go with me, then I will go. But if thou wilt not go with me, then I will not go.
So he tell a man who's supposed to lead the army is telling Deborah, I go if you go, right? So this is another important role that a woman is playing, right? He's saying, I go if you go. He already got orders, but he don't want to go unless Deborah go. Keep reading.
And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor.
So it ain't going to be for your honor, right? I'm going to go with you, but you're not going to get the honor out of this. Keep going.
For Yahuwah shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman.
So it's the honor is going to go to a woman, right? Keep going.
And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh.
So she went with him. Keep going.
And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali and Kadesh, and he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went up with him.
So they on their way to go do what they got to do, right? Skip to 12.
And they showed Sisera that Barak, the son of Abinoam, was gone up to the mount of Tabor. And Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him, from Harosheth of the Gentiles unto the river of Kishon.
Right. So we see Barak was relying on the bravery of Deborah, right? You know, and then we see that the honor was supposed to go to a woman. Keep going.
And Deborah said unto Barak, Up, for this is the day in which Yahuwah hath delivered Sisera into thine hand. Is not Yahuwah gone out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, and 10,000 men after him.
So she encouraging this man, right? She providing him hope, and she being a reminder of Yah, telling him, like, hey, man, y'all done already said this, right? Which is good, because she giving him that hope, that encouragement, you know, giving him the backbone that he need, right?
Right.
Now, keep going.
15. And Yahuwah discomfited Sisera and all his chariots and all his host with the edge of the sword before Barak, so that Sisera lighted down off his chariot and fled away on his feet. But Barak pursued after the chariots and after the host of Harosheth of the Gentiles, and all the host of Sisera fell upon the edge of the sword, and there was not a man left.
Keep going.
Howbeit Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. For there was peace between Jabin, the king of Hazor, and the house of Heber the Kenite.
So he going to a place, he fled to a place that was familiar to him, right? That was, he found him, he knew it was a place of comfort for him. So that's where he ran to, right? And I want to reiterate that she was, encouraging the man, right? Because when a woman believes in you, you'll believe in yourself more, right? When you just get that talk, even before you get married, your mama tell you, oh, you could do this so great and all that, you'll believe. You could be the worst rapper in the world or the worst artist, can't draw a word for lick, but because your mama say, oh, it's beautiful, you believe in yourself, right? So the same thing with a woman, right, with your mate. When she speak highly of you, she could put a battery in your back. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I think you could beat Michael Jordan, and you go out to that court the next day, can't dribble a lick, but you more Jordan that, right? Yeah. What we at, verse what?
18.
All right, and read this, because this is the point we got to make. Go ahead.
And Jael went out to meet Sisera, and said unto him, Turn in, my lord, turn in to me, fear not. And when he had turned in unto her into the tent, she covered him with a mantle.
Right, so now you got another woman coming into the mix, Jael, right? And she telling Sisera, hey, come in here, I got you, right? And she covered him with a mantle. Keep going.
And he said unto her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him. Again he said unto her, Stand in the door of the tent, and it shall be, when any man doeth come to inquire of thee, and say, Is there any man here? That thou shalt say no.
Keep going.
Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent, and took a hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him, and smote the nail into his temples, and fastened it into the ground, for he was fast asleep and weary, so he died.
So she nailed him to the ground like a Christmas stand, right? Stand for a Christmas tree. Keep going.
And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him, and said unto him, Come, and I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temples.
And keep going.
So Elohim subdued on that day Jabin, the king of Canaan, before the children of Israel, and the hand of the children of Israel prospered and prevailed against Jabin, the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jabin, king of Canaan.
So the person who would be honored with their death would be Jael, right? So like she told him, hey, man, this honor ain't going to go to you, though, because he really should have been a man about it and did what he had to do, because he already had commands from the Most High Yah, right? But the honor ended up going to a woman at the end of the day, right? So we seen another major role that was played, Proverbs 5 and 18. Proverbs 5 and 18. When you get there, go ahead and read.
Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth.
Right. So he's telling you to rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Go ahead and read 19.
Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love.
Right. So this is the job as for the man's side, right? This gonna be the wife of your youth. You supposed to love her, right? You're supposed to make the best of everything, right? And if each side is trying to make an effort to improve where they lacking, it's gonna be a lot more peace. But it can't be one-sided. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely can't be no-sided to where ain't nobody putting in no effort to do nothing better. You know what I'm saying? You should be seeing, like, what can I improve in being a wife? What can I improve into being a husband? You know what I'm saying? Even in relationship with your friends, whether you're a brother or sister, what can I do to improve myself? You know what I'm saying? Self-examination is key, to progression. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should never want to sit stagnant and be content to where we at now. We should always be like, what can I do better? Whether you married for one day or 30 years, like, what can I do to make this even better, right? Because we do everything in our effort to get somebody, right? So you have box of chocolates, flowers, sweet letters, all of this, and then somewhere in the relationship, all that stuff die out. You know what I'm saying? You be like, dang, man, I ain't got a box of chocolates. And you used to keep one every Friday. You know what I'm saying? And cause when we was in the world, you said I was your weekly Valentine. Now I don't got no love. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see where we fall short and put in more effort than what we did to even get them. You know what I'm saying? You got them, now you got to keep them. If your goal is to make them happy, both sides going to win, right? When you make that your goal. So let's go to Proverbs 31. Actually, where we just leave off at? Proverbs 5. Let's go to Psalms 128 and 3. And when you get there, you can go ahead and read, my brother. 128 and 3, Psalms. Go ahead.
Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. Thy children like olive plants round about thy table.
Right, and she's going to be like a fruitful vine. So when you understand the operations of a vine helps to climb the walls, right? So if the plant is by the wall, the vine is going to help to climb the wall because its goal is to bring the fruits to the sunlight, right? It's going to carry nourishment, and then it's going to be a support system to hold them up to the light, right? So that's what both sides should be doing. But even as a wife, you trying to help to progress everything within the household. The relationship with Yah, the finances, the raising of the children, and all of that, right? We're trying to get to the light and be beings of light. So that's what when it starts speaking of vine, I was like, let me see what the purpose of a vine is anyway. And then some vines are gonna have thorns on them, which is gonna do what? Protect you. So that rose look beautiful, but you got to get past the thorns on that vine first to even pick that rose, right? Let's go to let's see here. Proverbs 31, and we're going to read 10 through 13. Proverbs 31 and 10 through 13. So in a man's life, a woman plays an important role, bro, because they can bring peace or they can make your life hell. You know what I'm saying? So it helps when you do have a woman. I done had brothers who even been like, man, I don't even want to get married no more because of what I done been through. And it's sad to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't like the condition of what some of the women are in these days, right? Proverbs 31 and read 10 through 13, go ahead.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her.
Trust in her.
So that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
Some of the days of his life.
All the days.
When she in a good mood.
All the days.
Yeah. All the days, right? It's ALL. Now we ain't talking about the detergent, right? All the days of her life, right? Hit that 13 too.
She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands.
Right, so she trying to help the household, right? She trying to bring into it and sow into the growth of the household, right? But key verse here is 12, all the days, which means it's not circumstantial, it's not conditional. But all the days, she gonna try to do him good, right? Because it'll be a lot of people getting their feelings and they forget that y'all judging you. It don't matter what your mate, your friends, or anybody in this world doing. You make sure you on point so when the Most High Father is looking at you, he'll say, well, job done, my son or my daughter, right? Because we get in our feelings and we'll let other people being out of character and off track to take us and derail our walk. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we can't do. We got to stay key. And that's what takes strength because it's easy to be like, nah, I'm gonna get the best of this at the end of this argument or this and that. Sometimes you just got to walk away and be like, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me just going hard on you, hey, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love you, and be able to walk away. You know what I'm saying? And then the mouth of a lot of women these days be very manly. You know what I'm saying? That's their weapon is their tongue. They going to cut you, tell you all kind of stuff and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take strength in being a man and be like, all right, I know right now this ain't the place for me to be here. Maybe we'll regroup and we'll reconvene this conversation later on when both sides have calmed down, right? Because as a man, we got to be the head and know when to do that, right? So again, we seeing it say she would do him good all the days, right? So what we're going to do is now go to 1 Samuel 25. Because I watch a lot of videos, too, that deal with submission and stuff to hear the women's point of views. Because they got all type of terms for stuff now, and they call them modern women. So you get to see what the modern woman think, right? Because we got to be realistic. We over here everywhere Babylon, but this over here in America is hell. You know, the way they done got to teach the men to grow up and be effeminate, to think that killing each other is a tough way to make the woman think, I can be independent. You got artists, big artists like Beyonce, who going to be like to the left, but she married. But these women feeding off of this, and that's what they go play when as soon as they get in arguing with their man. To the left, trying to put subliminal messages. I don't need you anyway. They won't put it out their mouth, but they'll put on this song. And this woman, whole millionaire, happy, at home, having babies and everything. But this is dictating the future of other people. You see what I'm saying? So now they eating that type of energy up. You know what I'm saying? The female rappers is really raw these days. You know what I'm saying? They teach you to use the man, come up off of him and move around to the one who got more than him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the women be on. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people is being groomed by this. So the youth that's listening to this is growing up. That's why these scriptures is important. That's why he said that the wife should be teaching the children. You know what I'm saying? You should teach that younger woman how to be a woman. Now, you might hear this and that when you be around your friends or if you're in the dorm room, but this ain't how we operate. You know what I'm saying? As children of Yah. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be held to a high esteem. To who much is given, much is required, and you know better, so do better, right? 1 Samuel 25:1. And we need these type of lessons because it do need to be some order, man. And we don't need them once every decade. We need them. If we ain't seeing no change and we seeing the households is miserable and everybody just don't know their role, because it's going to be hard for a woman to listen when she always taught and everything she listened, all the reality shows show otherwise. Because when I watch reality show, this woman on Basketball Wives don't do this. She the breadwinner, so especially like, don't let her be the breadwinner. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Hey, man, what did you bringing in? Man, that money don't mean nothing at the end of the day if you ain't got no strong soldier or strong man behind you, you know. Mm-hmm. But 1 Samuel 25, and we're going to read verses. This is going to be a long read, but I think it's important. 1 Samuel 25, and we're going to start at verse 1. Go ahead.
And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him and buried him in the house of Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel. Mm-hmm. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 8,000 goats, and he was sharing his sheep in Carmel.
So he was doing good for himself, right? Keep going.
Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding.
So she got good understanding, right? Keep going.
And of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and was of the house of Caleb.
Right. So we be having women that say, I would be submissive, but this man got to do this man got to do that, right? It helps a woman to be submissive if you is playing your role right. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be honest. It's going to be easier. You know what I'm saying? But if you play your role, you might win that man over to where he'll one day wake up. You know what I'm saying? And if he don't, y'all going to deal with him, right? But it say this woman had good understanding, right? But her husband was evil, right? Verse 4.
And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel and go to Nabal and greet him in my name. And thus shall he say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shears. Now thy shepherds which were with us will hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them all the while they were in Carmel.
So they was protecting them, right? Keep going.
Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand unto thy servants and to thy son David. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And excuse me. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David?
So he asked him, who is David? Did he really not know who David is, or he's saying it just how we said this day? Man, who is he? Who is you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Keep reading.
And who is the son of Jesse?
So how we ain't even bring up the son of Jesse. So he know who David is, but he's saying to the in the extent he being sarcastic, who is David? You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
There be many servants now, a days that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shears and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be?
You know, man, why would I give my stuff to you? You know, that ain't my job. Keep going.
So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those sayings.
Right.
And David said unto his
keep
men,
in mind, David, men could have just killed him then, right? But you know how when you were at home and then your brother, sister messed up and your mom and daddy say, hey, go tell them to do that. And they be like, I ain't going to do that. And you be like, okay. And you know it. I'm going, all right, let me go tell mama. We going to see what's up, right? Keep going.
And David said unto his men, Gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff.
So and he bringing the squad, right? Keep going.
But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conservant with them when we were in the fields.
Right, so he tell them, like, man, they got a squad coming. You know, your husband, he kind of did the fool. He talked crazy, you know, so she got the word, right? Keep reading.
They were a wall unto us both by night and day. All the while we were with them keeping the sheep.
Right, so they was protecting us. They did good to us, you know. Keep going.
Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do. For evil is determined against our master and against all his household. For he is such a son of Belial, which a man cannot speak to him.
Man, so the messenger telling her, you know your husband in the trip. You know what I'm saying? These people was good to us. Hey, they gonna try to probably destroy everything. So he trying to save too. Keep going.
Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses.
So she packed, if today's time, she packed that car from the glove box to the trunk, you know, and she coming out here because she trying to do good, right? She know how her husband is, so she trying to make right of what he did wrong. Keep going.
And she said unto her servants, Go on before me. Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so as she rode.
She didn't tell him, right? Because
Right.
why? She know he a fool. You know, woman, don't be, I already told him this and that. Put that stuff back, right? So she did it in secrecy. Keep going.
20. And it was so as she rode on the ass that she came down by the covert on the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, Surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow have in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him. And he have requited me evil for good. So and more also do Elohim unto the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertaineth to him by the morning light, any that pisseth against the wall.
So I'm taking everything out, right? Keep going.
And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground and fell at his feet and said, Upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be. And let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thine audience and hear the words of thine handmaid. Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal.
Hey, yeah, so our own husband, right? Keep going.
For as his name is, so is he.
Folly, foolish. Keep going.
Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou didst sin.
Right. I didn't see it. You know, I would have did differently, right? Keep
Right.
going.
Now, therefore, my Lord, as Yahuwah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing Yahuwah have withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand, now let thine enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal.
Hold on. Read that 24 again, because that was key.
And fell at his feet, and said, Upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be.
So she willing to take that iniquity of what Nabal did upon herself, right? Like, give it to me then. I'll take this punishment, right? Because that two became one, right? Just let it happen to me, right? All right, go back to 26 and read that.
Now, therefore, my Lord, as Yahuwah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing Yahuwah have withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand, now let thine enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal.
So now she bringing up that Yahuwah talk, right? And she bringing up that into remembrance, right? Keep going. Because she
now-
had understanding. Keep that in
Right.
mind. 27.
And now this blessing which thine handmaid hath brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thine handmaid, for Yahuwah will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles of Yahuwah, and evil have not been found in thee all thy days.
Right, because vengeance is of who? Yah's, right? So she reminded him of that, right? And you been doing good all this time, man. You ain't got no stains on your garment. Don't let this be your first stain, you know? So she talking that talk that he can understand, right? Understanding that he's a man of Yah. Keep reading, 29.
Yet a man is risen to pursue thee, and to seek thy soul. But the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with Yahuwah thy Elohim. And the souls of thine enemies, them shall he sling out, as out of the middle of a sling.
Right, so y'all gonna get the vengeance. Keep reading.
And it shall come to pass, when Yahuwah shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel,
And you're gonna become ruler. Keep reading.
that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood costless, or that my Lord have avenged himself. But when Yahuwah shall have dealt well with my Lord, then remember thine handmaid.
So remember me when all this happened, right? Keep going.
And David said to Abigail, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with my own hand.
Right. So he grateful for this. Keep going.
For in very deed, as the Yahuwah of Israel liveth, which have kept me back from hurting thee, except thou
Because
hast...
he was going to hurt her too. Everybody was going to get it, right? But because of her action, she saved a lot of people. Keep going.
Except thou hast hasted and come to meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisseth against the wall.
So she saved her husband's life and a lot of other people. Keep going.
So David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to thine house. See, I have hearkened to thy voice, and have accepted thy person.
Keep going.
And Abigail came to Nabal, and beheld, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of the king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken.
So he refused to give to David, right? And he got a whole feast just by himself up there, right? Greedy self, right? And keep going.
Wherefore she told him nothing, less or more, until the morning light. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone.
So she waited until he was sober because she knew he was a fool too. So that's another. She waited until he was sober, the right time, and she told him, you know, read that last verse.
And it came to pass about 10 days after that Yahuwah smote Nabal, that he died.
Go ahead, get another one.
And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be Yahuwah, that pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal.
So thank Yah that he handled this, right? You know what I'm saying? Remember, she said, remember me when all this happened, right? Keep going.
and have kept his servant from evil. For Yahuwah have returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And David sent and consumed with Abigail to take her into
So
to
he
him
ended
to
up
wife.
choosing her, you know. Yeah, you can come over here and be my wife, right? So he saw a good quality in her, because that take dedication to be like, man, hey, put your, whatever you're going to do to him, put it on me. Then she came with that Yahuwah talk, reminding him of, hey, Yah is the vengeance. So she's doing a lot of good stuff that a woman should do, right? So he ended up making that one of his wives, right? Genesis chapter 2. Because in the scripture, the Most High give us something corner to look at, and when you look at it, it'll say a lot more. You know, it'll get deeper. Genesis 2, and we're going to read 22 through 24. All right, go ahead.
And the rib which the Most High had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
And then they become one, right? So he took the rib, right? When you look at the duty of the rib protected, you know, important organs such as the kidney, gallbladder, the liver, the heart, you know, the lungs, your intestines, pancreas, all and more organs. You know what I'm saying? So the rib duty is to protect all of this on the body, right? To keep it going. So even when as the 12 tribes of the people of Yah, we supposed to be one body, right? And then Hamashiach is going to be the head, right? So we supposed to be protection for his word and his doctrine and the spirit going out, right? And keep life going. That's what the rib does, right? If you got a broken rib, it got the potential to puncture a lung, right? Which is going to take the air out of the dude, make it hard to breathe. Eventually, he's going to die, right? Or have the potential to die. So ribs is going to help you to have a healthier and good life, right? That's what it's supposed to do. Let's go over to, you got Sirach on Ecclesiasticus? All right. Brother David, you got on your phone? Can you use it? So women got a powerful role, right? So we can't downplay the woman's role. It's important. We need y'all. You know, y'all help the life be easier when you play your role. And we supposed to help make y'all life easier as well. Ecclesiasticus chapter... chapter 25, and we're going to start at 13. And this is what, as a woman, Yah, you shouldn't want, you know, for a man to feel, right? Go ahead and chapter 25 and start at 13. Actually, start at... Yeah, 13. Go ahead.
Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman.
Right. So this just line up with the 66 when you go through Proverbs. You know what I'm saying? So, because a woman can make or break you in your life. You know what I'm saying? I done seen men destroyed over a woman. You know, they lose everything after it. They get into they little side moments and all of that, get into depression and all of that, right? So it's saying, give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, right? Because that's your heart, right? That you love, right? 16.
I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with the wicked woman.
Right, because it be hell in the house, right?
Hmm.
A woman who don't know how to control her tongue, who talk to you any kind of way, because that's what a lot of women do now, and they be demasculating men. You know what I'm saying? They just say anything that come to mind, and they forget the role that you the head. You know what I'm saying? And they supposed to love you like, you know, and be subservient to you and love you like Christ, right? So that'd be a hard one, right? So he
Right.
say, read that again.
I'd rather dwell with a lion
With
and a
lion
dragon.
and a dragon, and to keep a house with a wicked woman, right?
Right.
Keep reading.
The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and the darkeneth her countenance like
Right, be
sackcloth.
wishy-washy, right?
Mhm.
Inconsistent, sometimey, right? Never know whether it's gonna be good or bad, right? And it shouldn't be to the point where a man have a hard time talking to a woman, but that's how it is these days. When I watch all these videos, it's like the men have a hard time communicating with the woman. And it ain't necessarily that he's soft, but it's that he don't want no drama. He don't want to deal with the drama that's gonna come with it, right? And it shouldn't be that way. It should be to where y'all both can communicate with each other openly. Keep going.
Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, he shall sigh bitterly.
Keep going.
All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her.
Skip down to 23.
A wicked
Actually,
woman,
22, because this is important for the fellas. Go ahead.
a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
Right, because the woman ain't going to get tired of taking care of her husband. You see what I'm saying? She going to be like, man, hey, you supposed to be taking care of me, right? This kind of went along with the lesson last night. Keep going.
A wicked woman abateth the courage, making heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and
Right,
feeble
because
knees.
that's the woman's duty is to nurture, to help. You know, when you're going through stuff, she should be words of encouragement. Hey, baby, it's hard right now, but we're going to make it through this. You know what I'm saying? You gonna do good, you know. I saw you was looking into this business. Let me see what I can do to help, you know. I heard they got loads over here for this or that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you doing, they trying to help you, right? Keep going.
Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die.
Right, keep going.
Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty
So
to.
if you know your woman a little loose, it's basically telling you she might need to be on a leash. You know what I'm saying? All them friends that be kind of raunchy that she was around, she don't need to be around them no more. You know what I'm saying? Because she don't have the strength to control herself. So she gonna put herself in a position to where you might lose your freedom. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey man, like why was you even over here anyway? You know what I'm saying? Now my life on the line, my freedom because of your bad decisions, right? Go over to the next chapter. And this ain't for every woman, but this is important for women to see. Because see, you got the Proverbs 31 in here for the woman, but you got almost this whole book for the man, being on the man head, right? To show us how to be good and honorable men, right?
Right.
Okay, 26 and 1.
Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double.
Right, because it's going to be peace. So he going to be happy all the time. He ain't going to dread going home. He not going to sit in the parking lot, in the driveway, like, I don't even want to go in here right now, right? Keep going.
A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
In peace. Keep going.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear Yahuwah.
It is, because it's definitely a blessing to have that, right? Keep going.
Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward Yahuwah, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
Right, keep going.
There be three
Hey,
things that my
Go to
heart
6.
fears.
Skip to 6.
But a grief of a heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all.
I told you that tongue be that weapon. Keep going.
An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that have hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. A drunken woman and a gatherer abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame.
Right. So this is another important thing is knowing, like, if you is gonna indulge in alcohol, know your limits, man, because both the man and the woman represent each other, right? So if you is gonna be on the alcohol, you know when to cut it off and chill out. 9.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
Mm-hmm.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
Right. So even with your daughters, if you know your daughter ain't all the way right, it's telling you to, keep a leash on her as well. Keep going.
Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not as she trespass against thee.
Mm-hmm. That means you already know when she got a impudent eye, man. She looking around. She trying to see what she can see, right? So it's saying don't be surprised if she get out there and step out on you. You know what I'm saying? Because this is important because relationships ain't always golden. You know, that sometimes they be good. You have your good days and your bad days, and people is flesh. So you got to keep these rules in mind. Like, hey, man, I know you mad and stuff, and you trying to go, nah, this ain't the time. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow.
Right, because that's the thing. You could do good all them days, but that 1-2 days you kind of fell off as a man, and you need to get yourself right, and you need to self-examine yourself. That one person be at work be like, bro, you beautiful, girl. And then they get that her ear start tingling, you know what I'm saying? Then she got a work husband. That's what they call them, work husbands, you know what I'm saying? And work wives, right? So then she got a work husband, and then she's stepping out, right? Keep reading.
The grace
This is all real stuff, though. Just because one person don't go through it don't mean it ain't true. This is common stuff because I've watched hundreds of videos, and this is what they be doing. And the women feel justified behind it because the word has made it the power to the woman. You know what I'm saying? I already told y'all the woman have a good role. I hold y'all to high esteem, but everybody got to play their role in this war that we in, this spiritual warfare, right? Keep going.
The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his
Right,
bone.
her discretion. Like everything you go through don't need to be your homegirl business. You see what I'm saying? Everything don't need to be everybody's business, and women do be quick to pick up their phone and tell what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it might then that person be looking at you funny, and they don't even know the whole story. Like, did she tell you about this, that, and the third?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't everybody's business. Keep going.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahuwah, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her content mind cannot be valued.
Right. So it's basically saying a woman who is ashamed of stuff, because some people don't be ashamed of stuff. They'll be like, oh, well, they don't care about what about the image or nothing. They're like, it is what it is. I did it, and I'm going to keep it pushing, right? Now everybody feel that guilt, or have that conscience to be like, man, I was wrong. I'm sorry, and they'll keep pursuing and doing what they doing, right? Keep reading.
As the sun, when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is thy beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
Now, skip down to 22.
And harlot shall be accounted in spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
This sound like a lot of stuff that Yah was saying to Israel. I'll be your fortress, and all of this, right? So a lot of the characteristics that he give to man and woman, it's from him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're supposed to play our role, and together we can make all of him, right? Keep going.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahuwah. A dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband.
Reverence, 'cause that's another word that be a problem. Reverence. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get to the lifestyle that the Most High set for us. You know what I'm saying? And not worry about how the word made us think of being subservient or being submissive to things of that nature, right? Keep going.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear Yahuwah.
Right. And this is another thing, because when people get into this walk, you could be in this walk, but your woman ain't. You know what I'm saying? So she's still holding on to the ways of the world. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that she should be disgrace that she ain't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's still out there twerking with her 3-year-old right next to her, teaching her to do the same thing. Like, nah, baby, that ain't the life we supposed to live. And she might not have no shame in that. You know what I'm saying? Boy, y'all boring, y'all square.
Right.
This is 2022. How old is that Bible? This is the type of stuff people be saying now. Keep going.
26.
Mm-hmm.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
Mm-hmm.
But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
Mm-hmm.
A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies.
So it say a loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies, because it's nothing worse than when that woman start going off. You know what I'm saying? And these days, women put their hands on males and everything. They fight physically, will fight a male, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything to the extreme now. You know, this world going under quick, right? So it's saying a loud woman will be sent out because don't nobody want to hear that mouth all the time, right? That's gonna drive away the enemies. You know, I don't even want to use no name because we know people with every type of name here, but just put 1,000 women out there who got that working of the neck and the hand talk and all of this and that. Hey, the enemy's fist to flee. That's how you win the war. We wouldn't even have to worry about Russia or nothing. Go drop off a bunch of them women, right? And then they, all right, come pick them up, we give.
Yeah.
Right? They were like, we didn't take these women back, right? But this is important because this is really what's happening. This is how women is conditioned. They see stuff on TV, you know. Then they don't always get good counsel. They friends don't be worth nothing either, so they give them bad advice too. Girl, all this and this and that, you know, and they don't know the whole story, or, you know, instead of being like, nah, baby girl, you know, you could probably do this different to come to him so that he could see it in your light, or,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because y'all can open y'all mouth, women can say stuff, but be conscious of how you delivering it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Keep going.
There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. Yahuwah prepareth such an one for the sword.
Right. So, with all this being said, actually go to 22 and we're going to read verses 4 through 5. So all I'm saying real quick is just that the woman have a mighty role, but you got to play your role. So does the man too. I would have went in on the men even harder. I went on the men hard, but we always be hearing about the errors of the men. So it's time for this to come out. And it's only because I converse with women while I'm evangelizing, and I see how they is. You know what I'm saying? Posted up outside the beauty shop, because I know that's where a lot of our people going to be coming in and out. They all half dressed, booty cheeks out. They look like you, hey, how much you going for? That's how they look, you know. And then if you approach them, like when men do that, then they got an attitude. But this is what you ain't modest. You know what I'm saying? You looking like everything the enemy wants you to look like, and you look nothing that resemble Yah, right? All right, yeah, get that 4 and 5 and we'll be out of here.
A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband, but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness. She that is bold.
A wise daughter gonna bring an inheritance, right, to her husband, but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness. Because if you trying to raise her right, he gonna be like, man, this ain't the way I raised you. And we got two fathers. We always got our earthly father, and we got our spiritual father, Father Yah, right? 5.
She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but they both shall despise
right,
her.
because that's when you got a woman that you can't tell nothing to. She always right, or she just really don't even care what you trying to say, right? We got bad examples like Jezebel, women like that in the book, you know what I'm saying? If you read Esther, you see how, I want to say it's the king of Persia, how his wife did when he said, bring her before us. So he was trying to parade her, you know, which I wouldn't have tried to parade, but he was trying to parade her. She didn't want to listen. They said, nah, you got to put her away, you know what I'm saying? Because she not only bad for you, she bad for all of us, because then our wives going to see her and going to operate in the same manner, right? So I want to go to one more place. Proverbs 20 and 6. Because all us men ain't got it all either. You know, we should steady be striving to do better too. And I'm gonna close out with this, just in case somebody watching like, yeah, and they don't even realize they err in their ways, and they ain't trying to make an improvement.
Mhm.
Go ahead, because when I ask the question, if I ask men like, "Are you righteous?" A lot of men gonna raise their hand, right? And be like, yeah, I'm good to go, right? He gonna read that 6.
Most men will proclaim every one his own
So
goodness.
every man gonna be like, yeah, I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
But a faithful man who can find.
So it's even hard. You know what I'm saying? So even in the man role, we gotta straighten up and tighten up and do better, right? If the man play his role, the woman play his role, everybody be in peace, it'll be good. You know what I'm saying? So I want to bring something that hopefully will encourage, even though some of the scriptures might sound like it ain't encouraging. It's just trying to, those are some places that I see that the women need to be corrected, because this is what I see and I hear a lot from me being in the streets talking to the people. You know what I'm saying? You can't even talk to them about the Most High, because they got an attitude sometimes. You don't even come stronger like the normal brothers would, you know?
Right.
But hopefully somebody could find something out of this that they could improve their situation on, and the woman to understand how valuable y'all is to us. You know, we need y'all, and we love y'all. So it ain't to downplay nothing, man. And a lot of our brothers do need to see the value of the woman, you know what I'm saying, to understand. But women, y'all play y'all roles too, man. Watch y'all tongue on how y'all talking to y'all men. Play a role, be a help me instead of a hindrance. You know what I'm saying? As y'all was a help to Israel.
Right.
Now, with that being said, we'll conclude this lesson. Shabbat shalom. I love y'all, and shouts out to our family in Florida and everybody those who are online. Hope y'all having a good time and getting a good lesson in today too as well. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, we're gonna be taking up the offering for my Bentley. I need the down payment. Nah. But hopefully somebody got something out of it today.